Coming to you from the Paranormal Warehouse, Destination Mystery paints the story for paranormal content, abnormal adventures, and the fun behind the investigations. Each week, Mike and Melissa will bring a new adventure that includes going to some of the most remote places in the West. They will tell the story behind the investigation and share with you the evidence they discover. This is not your regular paranormal show. These episodes will bring new content from locations that no one would think to investigate or explore. We will not only tell the spooky story, we will go to the location where the spooky story originated. Fasten your seatbelts as we take you on an adventure that will make you question what's normal and what's paranormal. Hello, paranormal peeps and weird wanderers. Welcome to our 13th live Facebook show on the Paranormal Warehouse. You have to excuse my voice. I don't have the Rona, by the way. How awesome is it that we get to do our 13th episode the week of Halloween? That's cool. We are excited to continue our Spooktober lineup today with our Wyoming prison investigation. We found some evidence just last night that really got us excited. In fact, I haven't shared it with anybody yet, so I'm excited to see your faces. Tonight we have some special guests joining us. Do you want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Michelle with Time Forgot.
And I'm Sierra. I'm the president of Paranormal Teens.
And I'm Melissa with Ghost Girl Memoirs.
And I'm Mike with Paranormal Treasure Hunter.
So if you're joining us via podcast tonight, we do a show on the Paranormal Warehouse every Wednesday night at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. And we turn these episodes into podcasts. So if you miss the pictures or any of the evidence that we share, you can find these shows live on our Facebook page. You can also go to www.destination-mystery.com. You can view it there. We have podcasts that are available on Spotify, Google, Apple, iHeartRadio, and anywhere where you listen to podcasts. So if you wouldn't mind following, liking, subscribing, we would appreciate that. Also, if you wouldn't mind sharing this video, if you're watching tonight, that helps us get the word out, and we would appreciate that also. Misty has joined us tonight. Hello, Misty. And Morty had joined us, but now she has to go to work. So be safe, Morty.
Stupid work.
I wanted to give a shout out real quick to I Know Squatch. He sent me some stickers this week. Can you see those?
Oh, I like those.
Those are so cool.
Good old Utah one.
Utah.
As soon as he gets Idaho, I'll be getting that one too. So thank you for those. And I also wanted to give a shout out to Cache Valley Bigfoot and Ghosty Girls who gave us a shout out on Instagram this morning. That was very nice of them. Both have really good shows if you haven't heard them. So as you can see, we've got Michelle and Sierra joining us. Michelle and Sierra joined us on most of our investigations. So our team kind of is comprised of a bunch of people, and whoever can join when we go comes. And Michelle is almost always there, and she's the one that captures our best evidence. And you one-upped us this time, too. I can't wait to show you. And she also just has a way of a really good investigating technique that helps us get results and answers, which is kind of fun. So, Michelle, do you want to talk a little bit about your Instagram page? Or
Okay. Well, my Instagram page is called Time Forgot. And it's basically old pictures, well, not old pictures, they're new, of old things. I love history. I love old buildings, architecture, things that are forgotten. And so Mike puts up with me. I'll have him pull off on the side of the road at a little spare notice and take pictures.
Even if I'm going 80 miles an hour, I still pull over.
Or he'll do a U-turn for me. But
I do that too.
So there's usually no people in my pictures. It's just pictures of old stuff that I love and I think are cool, so I like to share them.
Sierra is also with us. She is with Paranormal Teens, and they have an Instagram page also. And their goal is to teach responsible investigation techniques and responsible exploring techniques. Also, I guess not to be afraid of everything because we're constantly surrounded by the paranormal, and we need to learn to accept that some things in this world cannot be answered. Anything you want to add to that, Sierra?
Pretty much said it all.
Okay. We're super excited to be with them. There was the four of us on the Wyoming prison investigation, and we were joined by another team from Wyoming. Was it ATW Research? Or I said that right? Alex. And he may join us on another episode. So it was a really fun investigation to do. We're going to dive into that in just a second. But real quick, we have our friends from the Lunatic Radio Show and we're going to play their trailer real quick and give a shout out to them, and then we'll dive right in.
Hi, I'm Abby.
And I'm Alan.
On our podcast, Lunatics Radio Hour, we explore the dark and creepy corners of the world.
Ever want a deep dive into the myth of the werewolf?
Or find out what the most haunted place in the world is?
Well, we can't stop thinking about creepy folklore, people, places, or things.
Join us every Monday to learn something scary and new. Listen to the Lunatics Radio Hour on Spotify.
They're really good. Misty says, hi, Michelle and Sierra.
Hi.
All right, Mike, let's dive in.
So, this is case file number 13, the Wyoming Frontier Prison. I'm going to give a little bit of history about the prison before we get started. Construction for the Wyoming Frontier Prison began in 1888. The prison originally began with cell block A. There were 104 cells, no electricity, no running water, and very little heat. Approximately 13,500 inmates were incarcerated over the prison's 80-year history. Overcrowding was a bad problem, and the prison added its first edition in 1904. 32 cells were added to the west of cell block A. The prison also housed women separately from the men until 1909. The women were kept upstairs and were allowed to wear their own clothes. The women were periodically transferred to Nebraska or Colorado after 1909. In 1916, the prison completed the addition of the death house. There are 6 cells that were used on death row for the inmates on death row. In 1936, Wyoming changed from hangings to the gas chamber as the execution method of choice. Subblock B was added in 1950 and temporarily handled the overcrowding. This block consisted of solitary confinement cells with much better heating system and hot running water, which would not be installed for another 28 years in Subblock A. The maximum security addition, Subblock C, was completed in 1966. This block consisted of only 36 cells and reserved for the very bad ones. You got a picture of that old?
Oh, I was going to show pictures while you were talking.
It was so interesting that you forgot, huh?
Oh my gosh. Well, I was doing comments. By the way, Misty says she's really interested in the effort from our younger constituents. I can't say that. And what else? Oh, Pennsylvania. Oh, Natita is here from Pennsylvania. She says hello. Okay, I've got a picture. I'll show these pictures as you're talking, okay?
Do you have a picture of the punishment pole by chance?
Yeah, do. Let's need to download it real quick. But I'll pull it up.
The punishment pole was used for discipline. Men were handcuffed to the pole and whipped with rubber hoses. Didn't they have a little window there that everybody could watch them?
They did. Yep. Right. And it was right as they walked in, too. So I think.
Everybody walked by it on their way into the prison, right?
Yes.
To see that.
Yep.
Didn't they open the window so they could hear the screams as a warning to the other inmates?
Yes,
Yeah.
They did. You always remember the good stuff, Sierra. Thank you.
I don't know whether to be proud or alarmed.
I'm just kidding. I don't have a picture.
They also used the
Can
dungeon.
you see the picture I just shared, though?
No. The
I see
hanging
your
one?
desk screen.
Yep.
Oh, my gosh. How about now?
Oh,
There
there
it
we
is.
go.
We got it.
That was the coolest old building. I just loved it. It was so cool. Even it was a prison. They also used the dungeon and solitary confinement. Execution methods consisted of the gallows and the gas chamber. 14 executions were carried out in the Frontier Prison, Wyoming Prison. 9 were hung and 5 were executed. You had a picture of the
gas chamber?
the gallows.
Yes.
Is that total inmates that were hung? Does it count the one that had to be hung twice?
I don't know.
We could see your face on that mic in that screen. But that's the gallows.
That's a replica, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or is that the real deal? That one's the real deal.
This is the real deal.
Yep. They had it open up to the public so that everybody could watch it as they dropped through that hole in the ceiling. It's kind of surreal. Some of the notable events that occurred during its history are the burning of the broom factory. In 1911, restless prisoners burned down the broom factory and 27 inmates escaped. This is the gas chamber that they installed after the hanging. They decided not to do the hanging. They only used it for 5 people. Kind of a waste of time and money, but anyway. Do you want to keep going with this, or?
Yeah.
Some of the notable inmates included Annie Bruce, who killed her father with a poisoned plum pie, and because she had the urge to kill. Also was notorious train robber William Carlisle, known as Wild Bill. He was sentenced to prison for life.
There's Annie's photo.
The one who killed her dad because she had a hankering?
That's what it says. I don't know that I believe it, but yeah.
I don't eat my kids' pie anymore, I'll tell you that. William Wild Bill escaped from prison, but was shot by a posse and returned to his cell. He finally earned parole and was released January 8th, 1936. Henry Edmondson murdered one of his ranch hands because he didn't like his relationship with his daughter. I would probably do the same.
Yeah.
He was a heavy drinker and a morphine fiend. He was known for being a very difficult inmate. George Henry Sabin was sentenced in 1909 for second-degree murder. Al Biscaro was sentenced in 1920 for 10 years for grand larceny. Frank Wigfall murdered and raped the pie lady, Esther Higgins, when he escaped from prison. Frank was captured and returned to prison. He boasted about the crime, and his fellow inmates hanged him from the railing in his cell block because Esther Higgins was the lady who brought them pies and cookies, and they were mad at him for doing that. I would be too.
I would be too.
Some of the paranormal claims include apparitions, anxiety, a sense of pressure on your chest, cell doors banging, disembodied voices, a reflection of a man in a brimmed hat in the gallows, claims of crying, wet footprints in the shower, and a figure of a man in the doorway of the showers. There was approximately 200 deaths in the prison.
So that's just a little bit about the history of the prison.
I did, after you guys left and we were in the gas chamber, Alex and I and the guide, we were standing by the door, and you'd been gone about 20 minutes, and there was definitely a door that opened and closed in one of the rooms behind us in the solitary. Big old creaky. Sounds just like that.
I was hoping to hear that, and I never did while I was there. So
it was pretty loud, pretty distinct, and there was nobody. All 3 of us were standing right there, and you guys were long gone. So
we were in a different building, so
we had a lot more fun too.
Yeah, we did.
Well, we got to hear the door creak.
Well, we got more. So.
Yeah.
Michelle, do you want to talk about the investigation?
Sure. When we first showed up there, we had 2 tour guides, and they took us through the whole prison, and we got to see everything during the daylight. And then, of course, it started getting dark, and we decided to start our investigation down in the shower area. We did temperature readings, some EMF reads, set up a laser grid. Let's see, what else did we do? We did some recordings, but we didn't capture a whole lot down in the shower room.
That's the shower room by the room.
Yeah, there's tiles coming off the wall and everything. It's kind of eerie down there. Yeah, ghetto. There we go. We thought we heard some talking in the distance. and it seemed to be coming from the cafeteria area. And so we decided to head towards that way. The cafeteria is where they had a riot. And so we thought we'd get some good activity there. When we first walked in, Mike and Alex were more in this cooking area, and us girls went over to where the tables and stuff were at. When we first entered, we heard what we thought was a harmonica. It paid 3 or 4 notes on it, as I recall. And it was before we actually started recording.
I almost wonder if an inmate played a harmonica while they were having lunch or something. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah.
I don't know where it came from.
I started recording right after that, and I'm going to have you post what I caught after, because I can't get it uploaded. I'm really technical.
We can also put it on our Facebook page, or we may have to do another episode because we haven't gone through all the video yet.
Yeah, this is the room as we were facing it, with all the tables, and the tables are all welded in place after the riot, and there's pillars that go down the center, and there's windows in the very back of the room there.
I'm sorry it's so dark. We didn't have IR cameras at the time, so we did the best we could with our cell phone cameras. It'll be better next time we go. Well, because we have
we have good cameras now. While we were in this room, I kind of connected with someone. When I'm in places, I tend to be really quiet and just kind of get a feel of the room and what's there. And I felt that there was someone there with us, that I don't know if she obviously did something to deserve to be in prison, but it wasn't a malicious type feeling.
And when Michelle started mentioning that, and we started, directing our questions around that, that's when we started to get the activity. Yeah. So that's why you take Michelle on investigations.
I don't know if it's good or not. Kind of creeps me out sometimes.
It's good.
So we started our EMF, and one thing that really got our attention is that Melissa's flashlight went on when we asked it to. And that was the first time we had that happen with us. I think it was the first time we tried the flashlight.
It is. Yep.
And it kind of made us stand back a bit. While we were in there facing towards the windows, we also noticed a shadow that seemed to be peeking around from one of the pillars.
If you can see those pillars in the middle, there were 3 of them. You can only really see the first one, but it looked like someone was just kind of peeking around the side every once in a while. And I know one of the other investigators that was with us would walk back there, and then it was like she was hiding or didn't want to be seen and disappear. But as soon as we stayed back, you could see her peek around again. I think it was a she anyway.
That's the feeling I got.
I actually saw something through the back window, and like a similar shadow to the one we saw by the pillar. It was in the back window.
Do you think it was a girl?
I think it was a girl, yes.
Sorry, Bella just got home from work.
That's okay.
That was the time when I saw one, like the same thing, something's peeking around the corner. So I got my thermal imager out again, and I was sitting at the table, and I just happened to be filming when Alex walked down, and then 2 other people walked down to look to see what was behind the pillar. And I got a 4th image in that thermal, but I wasn't recording. And I just assumed it was one of you guys, but everybody else was still sitting at the table. So I did get a 4th image on that thermal camera. I wished I would have recorded that, but I got another person in it. Just thought that was interesting.
Well, and it was also during this time that, didn't you notice that other special delivery?
Hey, I want one. Will you drive
I have a drinking problem.
Me too.
But it was during this time, Mike, that didn't you notice another image on your thermal camera that you did catch?
Yeah, but I didn't catch it in there. I don't know where I caught it. Sometimes I have my thermal imager is about an inch square by inch square, and you hold it in your hand and you have to squeeze it like a trigger and hold it for it to work. So with my left hand, I hold the thermal. Right hand, I hold my phone to record it. And sometimes my right hand's just hanging down, and the camera's going wherever. And sometimes I forget to turn it on or turn it off. And sometimes I think I just inadvertently bump it and capture pictures. I've got a bunch of them. I don't even know what they are, but if that's the one I'm referring to.
You want me to show it?
Are you ready for that yet, or do you want to do it later?
She has it. Okay.
Let's show it, because we'll talk about why we went where we went after that.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
I wasn't aware when I caught this picture. I don't know where I was or what happened, but we got the pit. Can you blow that up, Amy?
Make it bigger?
Yeah.
How's that?
Right there, yeah.
And hot things are glowing white, and cold things are purple and black. So this figure is very, very cold. And it looks like she's wearing a dress. I thought it was Sierra at first with a hoodie around her waist, but she had her hoodie on the whole time and her hood up over her head. It was cold, yeah.
It was cold in there. We were all wearing hoodies and Levi's. So.
And the other thing that I thought I would mention is, we thought one of them, one of the prison people that was giving us a tour mentioned that, oh, well, you took your hoodie off and tied it around your waist, but none of us did. We had our hoodies on the entire time. And also you can see that she's got her hair pulled back, and we all had our hair down.
Either she had short hair or it's pulled back, but it's definitely not. You're wearing your hair like
any of us.
Yeah.
We even tried to replicate it by seeing if it would pick up a reflection or one of our shadows, and it didn't look anywhere close to that.
If that was human or one of us, it would be glowing white, like the numbers in the square, not black and purple.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, none of us were really standing alone. We were all just standing in groups.
And it also looks like poised like a ballet dancer.
I see her peeking around something. Kind of like what she was doing before. But Michelle, go ahead.
Oh, that's fine. So most of the activity we got was right there at the beginning, and after a while we didn't get a whole lot, so we decided to move on because it's such a big place and we didn't have a whole lot of time. And we went up to Death Row, and we did a EVP session up there and a spirit box. And I thought it was really interesting when we went into the hanging room. Even though they have the floor sealed, you can see the square where the drop chute is at. No one would step on that square. As we all went in, everyone walked around it. And I thought that was kind of interesting.
I didn't even notice that.
I didn't want to fall down that hole.
Adobe.
It was just kind of interesting how everyone avoided it. But when we were up there, they had all the pictures of the men that were hung on one of the walls with their names under them. And on the spirit box session, we heard the name White. Do you have any of the sounds from up there, Melissa?
No, I don't. For some reason, my audio didn't work the whole time we were there, and I didn't know that until I came back home to review it.
We have a picture of Mr. White?
No. So if anybody can find one, that would be awesome. For some reason, they don't like to release a lot of...
I might have some. I was mainly on the Women's Center when we were up there.
Well, I remember looking at the wall while we were doing the box session, and it came up White. And when you look on the board, I found the name, and he was hung. And we asked for a date, and we got a date that was like 2 years behind the date that it said he was hung. So it could have been a date that he was there or was like put in prison. Yeah, it was just a black man named, I think it was Oliver. I'm not positive, but Oliver White, I believe.
There's not a whole lot of history out there on the internet about the prison. And I was told by the lady who gave us the tour, it's because they don't want people to know about it until they come do the tours, because that's how they make their revenue, which to me is like, I will come because I know the history and want to find out more. So I don't know why they think that's the way to do it, but that's the way they do it. They don't release a lot of history. So if anybody has, there are books but I don't have all the books. And if anybody has a picture or knows any more information about White, we know he was killed there, but that's about all we know. We don't know. I don't know what he did or how long he was there for.
Once things slow down in the hanging chamber, then we focus more on the gas chamber. And Sierra can share what happened with her there.
Oh, well, instead of taking a photo during the daytime like a normal person, I decided to wait till the night to get my picture in the gas chamber. But the second, that's a bad photo.
It's a really cute photo, actually.
You can see the fear on my face. So
Yeah.
with the gas chamber, they have a room behind it where they'd have like 30 people watch them as witnesses. When I sat down, I felt people staring at me through those windows, and I think I felt like a leftover energy of the people who were in the gas chamber, because I just felt like people were staring at me and like felt kind of guilty in a way, and I just didn't want to be in there. I kind of like was telling my mom to take the photo faster, but her camera was being weird. It was so scary.
Did you know that that room was behind you before you sat down in the chair?
Yeah, we walked through it earlier in the day, because this is the second time we went up.
Yep, so she was one of those brave kids that sat in the chair by herself. And by the way, it's pitch black. You can't see anything. This is because of a flash.
Well, and that room just had a creepy vibe. I wouldn't go sit on the chair. They're like, Mom, sit on it so we can take pictures. I was like, no, I don't want to. So there were still so many places to explore. We had a good rapport with the tour guide there. And Melissa and I were really curious about the women that were kept at the prison. They weren't kept there very long. I believe there was only 12 or 14.
There was 11.
11. Okay. Stop it. There's 11 kept there until they built the women's prison. And they were obviously kept separate from the men, and the men didn't even know they were kept there. And speaking with our tour guide, she usually doesn't take people up there. But Melissa and I were so curious and kept asking about it that she agreed to take us up there. So we left the boys in death row there, and us three girls with the tour guide went up to where they kept the women.
So I was in death row, sitting in one of the cells. I was in the cell of the guy that tore those girls apart and then drew their picture on the wall. Remember that cell?
Yes, but I can't remember his name.
I can't remember his name either, but he killed some girls pretty violently. So they put him on death row. And I sat down, and I think I dozed off, and you guys all left me in the dark. So thank you for that.
Who dozes off during an
I was tired.
Well, on death row even.
It was peaceful in there. It was quiet. But I got up, and it was pitch black, and I didn't have my flashlight. So I walked back to where Alex and the tour guide were, and that's when I got right there is when we heard the door open and close. But I had a little nappy nap.
Sleep on death row. Well, we went upstairs of the main building, and the cells were taken down, but they still had one of the rooms there. And when we entered the room, they had the pictures of all the women on the wall. And Melissa was really drawn to one of the pictures when we got up there.
I'll show it. Yeah. I don't know why. Like, I was like, oh, this has to be Annie. Because she's the only girl that they ever really talk about. But this is the picture I was drawn to. And I mean, I don't know if you can see it very well on your end, but she just looks so sad. Like all of the life that was in her at one point was just completely gone, and she just didn't care about anything anymore. In fact, right now I'm kind of feeling anxiety and pain looking at her picture. Yeah.
Her story really is sad.
Another
It's
thing,
very sad.
if you look at her, she kind of has the hairstyle of the person in the thermal imager.
Is this the one you think that was her?
I think so. That's why it drew me to her. She has like the hair that matched the thermal.
Yeah.
At first I thought it was Annie because that's the one that everybody talks about. But after this is Hattie.
Oh, this is Hattie.
Hattie LaPierre.
LaPierre.
And yeah, after we did our investigation up in the women's ward, I do believe that that is the picture that you captured on your thermal.
Well, and when we started the session, at first we thought it was Annie that was with us. And so we were up there and we started the spirit box up in the room there and we asked if it was Annie, but we got a response back to that. Do you have that clip, Melissa?
Yeah, what was it called? Oh. Thank you, Michelle, for doing all these, by the way.
Oh,
I
it
did
was
not
interesting. It was my first time, so hopefully they turned out okay.
I did not have time to go through the audio, and I was really starting to stress, and so Michelle did it for us this week, and I appreciate that.
Is there anything else you'd like to say before
Is
we
this
leave?
the right one? Pretty clear to me.
So at the end there, it sounds like her name.
I can increase it a little. It almost sounds like a man, though, doesn't it?
It gets so
It sounds. I mean, yeah,
robotic with amplifying.
you're right. The mechanical kind of makes it sound different.
But it does sound like Hattie to me.
It does me too. There's definitely a.
Yeah.
Daryl just said you had a dark energy next to you, Melissa. Are you talking about like right now or at the prison? Just wondering. Go ahead, Michelle.
So we continued and we were asking a lot of questions. We actually got a lot of answers. I was really surprised how many answers I found when I was going through this. We asked her if she was the one that was in the cafeteria with us. And this should be under in the cafeteria. We should get a response on that one.
Dad, I think you had something behind you.
I think we got a space.
Wait, I didn't see it. I'm sharing the screen.
It says in the cafeteria. It's right above is your last name.
Oh, it's back.
whoa, there's something behind you, Michael. What is? Oh my gosh, that's freaky. It's not me that has the dark energy. It's Mike. So funny. This is the best costume I've seen all week.
We love Halloween.
Me too. All right, here's this clip.
Oh yeah, I heard that. Hattie.
What did you?
It said yes.
Oh, I heard
yes.
Hattie. Wait. I still hear Hattie. I still hear Hattie.
Let me play it one more time. I think she might be right. I think it's just Hattie. See, that's why it's always helpful to have these younger ears listen, because us old farts can't hear very well. But I think she might be right. Hattie, that's kind of what I heard.
Trying to pick out some good ones since we're getting low on time. There's so much to say. What else did we ask her?
We asked how old she was, and we got.
I actually think there's two different things on that one. It was kind of weird.
I think we had like more than one person because we asked how old she was, and we got 12. But Hattie was 17, I believe, when she was there.
Mm-hmm.
That lady was only 17 in that picture?
Yeah.
Most of them were teenagers. I think Annie was like 13.
Annie was like, yeah, she was 15.
I think she was 14.
14, 15, which is about my age.
Cheryl, I'm still wondering if you saw the energy behind me just now or in the prison. I need to know. Because I've had some stuff happen in my office lately that's freaking me out.
I was about to say, whenever we start an investigation, we always introduce ourselves, and we usually ask if there's someone there that wants to say anything or tell us their story. And halfway through, we asked, well, it was you, Melissa. You said we would really love to tell your story. And this is the one that kind of freaked me out. I'd like to know what people, you heard something different than what I heard.
I did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but
this
you
is
know
what
what?
I was texting you about.
And we'd love to tell your story.
I can hear almost a full sentence there.
And we'd love to tell your story.
I got
Okay,
goosebumps,
already.
but I don't know what it said.
I heard you ask me that twice.
That's what it was.
I hear
Yes.
that.
That is
I hear
very
that
clear.
now. I have goosebumps like on my head. That's
Me
weird.
too.
That's the first time I got like a whole sentence. And I was like, oh my gosh, come listen.
A
Usually
lot of
it's
these
just
I
a
haven't
word.
heard yet, so this is exciting. I'll play it one more time. You asked me that twice. Yep.
That's cool.
And we had, when I went back through, that was the second time we'd asked. So we asked if they had anything to tell. And then we were like, we'd love to tell your story.
Yes.
So
Wow.
I
Okay.
thought that was so interesting.
That's crazy.
Okay. But the guide that was with us, we asked her about Hattie's story, and she told us her version of it. Later, we bought the book, and it was a different story.
Here's a book.
But and that has, it'll make you just sad for half of them.
Most of them didn't deserve to be there. At all.
No.
Like that mother-daughter duo, that was very sad.
And I'm trying to figure out, where was it? Okay, the one response to Hattie. That's when the tour guide's finishing up her story. And it's almost like Hattie responded to her story. It'd be up. It starts response to Hattie's story. There you go.
Okay. I'm going to amplify that a little right there.
Okay. The tour guide ends by saying the bullet went through someone else's hat. And then we heard this.
So quick.
It is. It's really quick.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, she's saying no something. No, it didn't. Is that what she's saying?
No, it didn't.
That's what
No, it
I
didn't.
thought I heard.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm going to put it one more time.
Can you slow it down?
In the story in the book, it doesn't say anything about
Yeah.
Michael, don't ask me to do hard things. I still haven't figured that out yet.
Can you slow it?
No, I cannot. Yeah, no, it didn't, is what I hear.
That's what
Which
I
is
heard
funny
too.
because that's not what happened.
It's not. Sarah, do you want to tell them a little bit about Hattie's story?
Okay, Hattie's story.
I'll let you in there.
Okay, Hattie LaPierre was born in Louisiana. She met Harry when she was 21. He quickly stole her heart and convinced her to move to Wyoming with him. She later learned that Harry had a heart.
That 21 is wrong. She was
When
younger.
he was, I think he was 21.
He was 21, so
Yeah,
she was like 15 or 16.
Yeah,
So
okay.
sorry, that's wrong.
She later learned that Harry had a horrible gambling problem. Harry was also addicted to morphine, opium, and hard liquor. She also learned that he had killed a woman and 2 men before he met her and had to flee to Canada. He served some time in prison before he was released and met Hattie. Once married, Hattie would pretend to shoot Hattie with his gun. He prided himself on being bad man. He turned Hattie into a prostitute and pimped her out while threatening to kill her unless she stayed there and helped support him. When he needed money, which was regular occurrence, he stole money from Hattie or beat her unmercifully and threatened her life until she coughed up the money for his gambling and drug habit. He often clubbed Hattie with his gun and fist when other men showed interest in Hattie. Hattie tried to escape on multiple occasions, but every attempt to escape brought more violence upon her. There were several witnesses to Harry's rage against Hattie. He even shot Hattie in the foot, but swore it was an accident, so no charges were ever filed. During one act of violence on Harry's part, he threatened to kill Hattie using a vile and abusive language, and he lashed out, saying over and over, "I will kill you." Hattie, who was afraid for her life, pulled her own gun and shot him. Hattie was apprehended after a short trial. County attorney and prosecutor James S. Vidal filed a criminal complaint against Hattie. Vidal stated that she was willfully, unlawfully,
Those are hard words.
purposely, and with premeditated malice. He did kill and murder Harry Black. Sheriff Stowe delivered Hattie to the penitentiary on January 7th, 1905. Hattie and her legal team fought for her freedom and petitioned for an early release. This release was finally granted when she was released January 29th, 1907, never to be seen in the state of Wyoming again.
From what I understand, nobody ever saw her again.
Yeah, she just kind of disappeared. But I
And
thought
do you
that was
blame
just
her?
but all the women had sad stories like that.
They did.
It was
And
really
you can
just
tell
something.
in her face that he had taken everything, completely destroyed her.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
it was
trying to
basically self-defense.
It was, and he didn't die right away. He died 3 days later.
Yep.
From
Oh, I'm glad he
complications.
suffered.
Yeah. He was a mean guy.
Yep.
I don't know how much more you want me to do. I don't know. You have to watch the time and stuff. You heard the clips too. I can give you.
I didn't hear all of them though. Let me see.
Okay.
You want to do the one that you found so you don't miss that one?
The one I found?
Well,
there's one more big one that, well, not big, but a really clear one.
Let's listen to that one.
Finishing up there. So towards the end, we heard the boys stomping up the stairs and coming to join us, and we're like, "Oh, we're done."
They're not going to talk to us anymore.
Yep. And so Melissa was kind of ending it. We always, thank them for talking to us and stuff. And sorry, our dog's being really weird.
Oh, I'm like, what's going on?
He was chasing and biting his leg and falling over.
He's possessed.
Dog.
So the one that says peace.
Okay.
It's just as the boys were getting up there to the room and we were finishing up.
Oh, I did hear this one. This is a good one. Pauline says, good morning from MY. Wait, that's got to be, if it's morning, she's got to be in another country.
She does.
Okay.
Everyone's on the night side on here.
We hope that you can have peace now that you are gone.
Yeah, I hear peace. Is that what you heard?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I remember hearing that person.
Yeah. And what was I going to say? I think it was, I almost felt like we were drawn there, and we were especially drawn up to the women's ward because, she's from Scotland. Maryhill, Scotland. Oh my goodness. Hello, Pauline. If you want to invite us to come, yeah, we want to go to Scotland really bad and visit the castles and stuff. So
we'll go in 2023.
Yeah.
When I
can we stay
graduate
with you? You'll have to take us on some cool places. I mean, if you want to hang with us, we're kind of weird, but that'd be awesome. So I was, I felt like we were kind of drawn up to the women's ward. And after hearing her story not exactly told correctly, I really felt like we needed to do her justice and tell what actually happened. Because she really did not deserve to be there. It was a self-defense act, and she should have, it just shouldn't have happened. She had a pretty horrible life, and we just feel like that her story needed to be told. And I think that's why she talked to us. And to my knowledge, I don't know of another group that's gone up there with just women and done an investigation in a women's ward. They don't let people up there, but we convinced her that we needed to go up there.
Well, and she took us through the whole upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of the rooms were storage rooms for them, and she took us all around. I was
which
really
is
grateful.
Interesting, because that's where I found the video last night. It was in the chapel area of the prison that nobody gets to they don't even take tours up there because it's pretty run down. There's nothing up there. There's those holes in the floor. Michael, did you want to say something?
I remember. Sorry.
Go ahead.
When we were listening to the spirit box in the room where Hattie was, where all the ghosts were, I remember listening to the spirit box and we heard crying come through.
Oh, that's right. We
And
did.
I just remember like my heart dropping. Like it was so sad. I could just feel like the pain that the woman felt in there, like feel the leftover energy, which
Mhm.
just kind of made me sad. I'm not sure if it made you too, but
It did. It
I
was
just remember
pretty.
that
Sorry.
was a really clear crying. Sorry.
It's hard. We
Well,
always
and
talk over each
unfortunately-
other on Zoom. Sorry. Go ahead.
When I was cleaning up the audio, most of that was lost because it was so faint. And crying comes across as a more of a background noise. It's not as distinct as actual words. So
It's never as
all I
good
got
as
when
the,
Real thing.
yeah.
When you were there, yeah. But yeah, I definitely felt like a hopelessness type feeling up there, and it was pretty sad. Especially when I got home. When we got home, we actually started reading some of these stories, and just sad, really sad.
Yeah, half of
Pauline
them
says
didn't
that
deserve to
she'll. No, they didn't. And Pauline says she'd love to take us to the place where her cousin was murdered in Scotland.
Oh, wow.
If we could help you find some answers, I would love to do that for you and help you out. Daryl asked if we've ever done the smoke box yet. No.
Oh, I haven't.
What, Daryl? What would you recommend we get to do the smoke box? Because I have a couple of places in mind where I think that might work really well, including the place we were at this weekend, which was pretty fun.
Yeah.
what is a smoke box? What's a smoke box?
They basically like put smoke into the air, and you just kind of sit and watch, ask questions or whatever. But if you see something appear, it's a lot easier to detect because it will, the smoke will dissipate or whatever around.
Would a fog machine work?
I'm thinking it would.
I just had someone give me some.
Oh, if it was it just has to be a really light type.
So, like the California fires and all the smoke over here. Would that do it?
No, it has to be moving around the room like this. Pauline says he was murdered under a bridge 10 minutes from my home. She lives on an old army barracks full of history. That would be
That'd be
so
way cool.
amazing to go visit. And we would love to come check that out, Pauline, see if we can find some answers. That's what we like to do. Daryl also says you can boil holy water in a bowl to see a face in a bowl. Never tried that. But while we were upstairs in the chapel, we captured something. It's pretty cool. Now keep in mind that we only had our cell phone cameras at the time. So we're video taping on it's not very high quality, and it was dark. It was pitch dark. There were a few lights coming through the windows from outside, but you really couldn't see much. So I'm going to show you the picture. So it was just us 4 girls. It was me, Michelle, Sierra, and I don't remember her name. She was like the tour guide.
Tina or Trina?
Tina, I think it was Tina. Where she was showing us around upstairs to some places that she doesn't normally let people in. And the chapel was one of them. So we all kind of walked through. Michelle was in the very back. And I was asking Tina questions because I wanted to know more about events and stuff that happened through the prison. And so I was up with Tina, and Sierra was right behind me. So Michelle was kind of in the back, and she's videotaping everything. So you see her camera kind of come around like this because she's scanning the room, and then we walk out. So as she's scanning the room, I wanted to show you the original video first, and then I'll show you if it'll work. This is the original video, and can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to get to the spot where I saw it.
Okay.
So here's the chapel. Now, I'm going to pause right there because, do you see anything? Nothing?
I don't.
I don't.
Just verifying that you don't see anything. Okay. Now, I'm going to skip ahead just a little. So Michelle's kind of behind us. We're walking out the door right now, and she's filming around. Can you see that right there?
The white thing?
Yeah.
White figure? Oh, I
Okay.
see that.
Right here.
Yeah.
So, wait, what did I just see? It's really quick, but coming back around. There it is, right here. So we kind of lightened up the video a little bit, and I'm going to show you the still shot of what it looks like. You can see that back here.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So at first I'm like, I actually called Mike and I'm like, do you remember there being any like mannequins or cutouts,
it just
up
froze
there?
up.
Yeah. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Ooh. So I was like, do you remember there being any like mannequins or cutouts up there or anything? And he's like, I wasn't up there. I don't remember there being any. So I was like, where, what is that? And then I thought, well, maybe it's just paint on the wall that happens to look like a human. And when we brightened it up and slowed it down, this is what you get. I don't know if you can see, but he's moving.
Yeah, it's moving.
It almost looks like he's dancing. Like his arms are like he's punching or dancing or something. And it's away from the wall and it's see-through.
Yeah, that's not
It's almost like it's trying.
Cutout.
No, it's like it's trying to get attention or something.
Look at me!
My husband was like, it's telling you to come here. And I'm like, it's weird. I don't know what it's doing. I wish that the video was a little bit clearer, but.
Did it look like it had a jumpsuit on?
Yeah, I mean, you can see the legs. I would say so, because you can't really make any distinct, like it's not like he has a collar on his shirt or.
Could you zoom in a little more too?
Well, and what was interesting is the prisoners had two choices on Sunday, to either go to the chapel and go to church, or they had to go down to the dungeon.
So most of them chose to go to church.
Yeah, regardless on their state of mind or religious aspects or anything, most of them chose to go to church.
So it makes me wonder if this is just I don't know. I just don't know. It's confusing to me. At first I thought, well, maybe it's a priest and he's, doing something with his hand, blessing the prisoners. I don't know. But I don't know. He's like punching or dancing or something. I don't know what he's doing. But it does look like a jumpsuit to me. And at one point you even see his arm like flinging around like that. So.
Oh, and it seems like he turns with the camera, like he's watching us walk by.
Maybe he is telling us to get out of here, leave.
Get out. There's the door.
Yeah.
He could be pointing at the door like.
You can see outside here you can see another building right there. But I even wondered, like my daughter, I asked her to help me clean this up and she's like, so nobody was standing there. I'm like, no, we were all leaving the door. Michelle was just kind of filming around as she was leaving. Was there a window or anything or a mirror? And I'm like, there's a window here, but behind him, there's nothing but a wall.
That's a huge room.
It's a huge room. So Michelle captured a full-body apparition moving on camera.
That's cool.
I've never been able to do that. I was really excited about that. I've never captured one that I know of that I've ever been able to see. So that was pretty cool to me.
That is.
I'm always excited when we get like really good things. And I think a lot of it is because, Michelle, you help us ask the right questions. And like we always have a group that has a variety of men, women, teenagers, different ethnicities. Like we have them all there. And so there should be somebody that's in our group that can connect with whoever's there. It blows me away what we capture sometimes.
That's true.
And it's exciting. Is there anything else anybody wants to share before we sign off?
There's still just so much footage to go through on this. I mean, we just barely touched what we went through.
Yeah, and I haven't even gone through all the video. So I think we're going to have to do a part 2 on this episode as well as the witching tree episode, because I didn't get through half of that either.
Yeah.
We're going to have to do part 2s for sure. Michelle has probably like 20 audio clips that we haven't listened to, but I'm excited to listen to them all. We have a cause that we like to support for the month of October, and this is in honor of Hattie. It's Domestic Violence Awareness Month, if you're all aware that that's in October. And we just wanted to share her story for that reason, and for the reason that I don't know that she's ever really had it shared properly before. But if you or someone you know is in a bad situation like Hattie was, there are places that can help you. One of them is the hotline.org. This website has information if you're in an abusive situation, information for people who want to volunteer, how you can identify abuse, and how you can plan for safety. The phone number is 737-225-3150. We see this horrible story that happened back in the early 1900s, I believe, but it's still happening today. And if you're not aware, there's a shocking statistic out there. It says the number of U.S. troops killed in Afghanistan and Iraq between the years of 2001 and 2012 is 6,488. The number of women who were murdered by their ex-male partner or current male partner during the same time frame is 11,766. So it's almost double what the troops. And this is according to the Huffington Post. So it is an issue, and it's not just women; it's men too. But it's something that I think we can help make public more aware, I guess.
Definitely.
Until next time, find your own destination.
Solve the mystery.
Thanks for joining, everyone. Have a great night and have a happy Halloween.
Thanks.
Right.
Night.